A former top-tier second-round selection just shocked the entire league by deciding to end his retirement and sign a deal with the Indianapolis Colts right now. This isn't just a depth move for the secondary. It's a high-stakes gamble on a player who walked away from the game at his physical peak. After losing key veteran contributors to free agency earlier this spring, Chris Ballard was under immense pressure to find a solution. But nobody expected this specific name to resurface in the building. Is this a genius move or a desperate play for a thin defensive backfield? Nasir Adderley is officially back in the NFL, and he has chosen the Indianapolis Colts as his landing spot to revive a career that many thought was over for good. The team announced the signing today, bringing in the former Los Angeles Chargers standout who retired following the 2022 season, despite being only 28 years old today. This move is fascinating because of the existing familiarity within the building, as Adderley spent time with the Chargers during his rookie contract, while our current head coach was running the offense out there in California. Adderley is a former 60th overall pick who developed into a legitimate full-time starter, appearing in 50 career games and starting 44 of them before his sudden departure from the sport. His career statistics are actually quite impressive when you look at the total production, recording over 200 tackles, 3 interceptions, and 12 passes defended during his initial run in the league. However, the elephant in the room is the fact that he has not played a single snap of professional football in nearly 4 years, which raises massive questions about his current conditioning and whether his instincts are still sharp enough to compete at the highest level. The Colts front office clearly sees something special here, likely viewing him as a versatile piece who can play both free and strong safety roles given his history in multiple schemes. This isn't just about adding a body for training camp. It's about finding a veteran who can potentially stabilize a room that has been leaking talent since the market opened. With several key players departing, the safety rotation was looking dangerously thin, and bringing in someone with Adderley's pedigree suggests the team isn't satisfied with just relying on unproven youth. But can a player really sit out for that long and walk back onto a pro field to be a difference maker in the AFC South? The competition in the secondary just got a whole lot more interesting, and the ripples of this decision are going to be felt throughout the entire defensive depth chart as we approach the summer months. There is a specific strategy at play here that points to a much larger battle brewing for the starting job. Do you believe Nasir Adderley can actually reclaim his former starter status after such a long time away from the gridiron, or is this just a temporary training camp experiment? This is exactly the kind of high-risk move that defines the Chris Ballard era in Indianapolis. If you want the most accurate inside reporting on every roster move and draft rumor, you need to stay connected with us right here. Subscribe to the channel and hit that like button to support our Colts coverage. Now, let's look at how this impacts the coaching staff's vision for this defense. Shane Steichen is the key figure behind this reunion because he knows exactly what Nasir Adderley is capable of when he is fully locked in and healthy on the field. During their time together in Los Angeles, Steichen saw firsthand the range and the ball-hawking ability that made Adderley a second-round priority for the Chargers staff back then. By signing him now, Steichen is betting on that personal relationship and his own evaluation of Adderley's character to help bridge the gap in a secondary that desperately needs veteran leadership. The Colts have been active in the safety market this offseason, already adding guys like Jonathan Owens and Wanye Thomas to the mix. But Adderley represents a different type of upside if he can return to his 2021 form. Sources close to the facility suggest that Steichen was a major advocate for this signing because he values players who can adapt quickly to changing defensive looks without a massive learning curve. Adderley's ability to back up both safety spots provides a massive insurance policy for a coaching staff that is currently dealing with a very young and inexperienced group of defensive backs. We have seen how Steichen likes to use versatile players to disguise coverages, and having a veteran who has started nearly 50 games allows for much more creative play calling on third downs. However, the reality of the situation is that Adderley will have to prove he can still handle the physical toll of an NFL season after such a significant hiatus from the game. The team isn't just handing him a starting role on a silver platter. He is going to have to earn every single rep during the summer sessions against some hungry young talent. The coaching staff is looking for someone who can mentor the younger guys while still providing that hard-hitting presence in the run game that was missing at times last year. If Adderley can show even a flash of his old self, he could become the ultimate bargain for a team that is trying to maximize its window with a rookie contract quarterback. The connection with Steichen gives him a unique advantage in understanding the expectations of this culture, but the pressure to perform will be immediate as soon as the pads come on. This move really signals that the front office is worried about the current depth and they are looking for proven winners. Chris Ballard is clearly shifting his philosophy by bringing in multiple veteran safeties to compete with the younger players like Hunter Wohler and Cam Bynum this season. With Cam Bynum currently projected as the primary free safety and Hunter Wohler receiving a massive amount of internal hype despite his lack of game experience, the arrival of Nasir Adderley creates a fascinating dynamic in the locker room. This move tells me that the front office isn't entirely comfortable heading into the season with a purely developmental approach at such a critical position in the modern NFL. The loss of Nick Cross and Rodney Thomas, the second in free agency, created a massive void in the roster that required immediate attention before the draft. By signing Adderley now, the Colts have given themselves the flexibility to avoid reaching for a safety in the early rounds of the upcoming draft, allowing them to focus on other areas of need like wide receiver or edge rusher. If Adderley shows he still has the range to cover the deep half of the field, it changes the entire geometry of how this defense operates under the current scheme. The future of the secondary now depends on a fierce competition where nobody's job is safe, and that is exactly how the front office wants it to be. We could be looking at a scenario where Adderley starts the season as a specialist or a situational defender before eventually challenging for a full-time role if the younger players struggle with consistency. The impact of this signing extends beyond just the stat sheet. It's about creating a culture of accountability where even veterans have to fight for their roster spots. If this experiment fails, the Colts have very little financial risk involved, but if it succeeds, they might have found a starting caliber safety for a fraction of the market price. The next few weeks will be crucial as we see how Adderley integrates into the defensive system and whether his body can handle the transition back to professional speed. This is a clear message to the rest of the AFC South that Indianapolis is looking to bolster its defense with experienced talent. The strategy here is layered, aiming to protect the deep ball while providing a veteran presence that can communicate effectively with the cornerbacks. Everything now hinges on how quickly these new pieces can gel together before the regular season begins in September. The signing of Nasir Adderley is a classic low-risk, high-reward move that could define the success of the Indianapolis Colts secondary for the upcoming season and beyond. It represents a front office that is willing to think outside the box and take chances on talent that others might have overlooked or forgotten entirely. For the fans, this move brings a level of excitement and unpredictability to the defense that we haven't seen in a while, especially given the history between the player and the head coach. This isn't just about football. It's about a player finding his passion again and a team providing the perfect environment for a comeback story that could resonate across the league. If Nasir Adderley can become the player he was in Los Angeles, the Colts just secured one of the best steals of the entire offseason period. However, if he can't find that old spark, it serves as a reminder of how difficult it is to step away and return to this level of elite competition. This decision will be a major talking point throughout training camp and will likely determine how the team approaches its defensive rotations on game days. We are witnessing a franchise that is refusing to stand still, constantly looking for ways to improve the roster even in the most unconventional ways possible. What do you think about this move? Is Nasir Adderley the missing piece this defense needs to finally shut down the elite passing attacks in our division, or is he just another name on the depth chart? Your opinion matters to us, so make sure to drop a comment below and let us know your thoughts on this breaking news. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an update on your Indianapolis Colts. We are going to be following this story very closely as the team hits the field for the first time this summer. This is going to be a wild ride for the Horseshoe, and you don't want to miss a single second of the action. Thanks for watching, and as always, let's see how this defense transforms in the coming weeks. The road to the postseason starts with moves exactly like this one, building a roster full of hungry competitors who are ready to prove the doubters wrong on every single Sunday afternoon.